Good evening and welcome to the
Thought I was right.
Monday, March 23rd meeting of the Attleboro School Committee. This is your notice that this meeting is being electronically recorded. I will call us to order at 6:30 p.m. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The first item on our agenda is a spotlight from Coelho Middle School, and for that, I will turn it over to Assistant Superintendent Lori Regan.
Thank you, Chairman Geddes. So tonight, it's our pleasure to have Coelho Middle School join us this evening for their spotlight. As you are aware, our strategic plan, Pathways to 2030, specifically Goal 3, is about family and community engagement. More specifically focusing on community connections, positive relationships, and a culture of belonging and shared ownership. And so tonight, Principal Bowles and his team will be sharing how they've made a significant impact on our community and have integrated into the culture with the students leading the work all together. So please welcome Mr. Bowles and his team.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Regan. I just want to thank the school committee, honestly, for giving us an opportunity to come before you and share and highlight the wonderful things that, honestly, the students are driving in our schools for the community. It's been a real pleasure working alongside all of these students. For the past 14 years, everybody who's ever met me knows that Coelho's is more than a school. We're a community. We're a community that looks out for one another. We care about each other. And we really want to build students in the sense of character, relationships, respect for themselves, and respect for the community in which they live in. Part of that is asking students to give of themselves and to think about ways that they can improve the community, because the community's done such great things for these students by providing a wonderful education, providing us with wonderful teachers and wonderful leadership. So tonight we want to kind of have them come up and explain, instead of just listening to me talk, because that's not fun. Having them explain why we chose the things we did at Coelho to make the community a better place and to give back. So the first persons I would love to come up is Colin, Nayani, and Cassidy. Come on up, please. So just to give you a brief overview before they speak, these are some of the things that we've done here at Coelho Middle School, and they're going to go into grave detail. It hasn't been one aspect of the school in one area that we focused on. We've tried to reach out to a number of different entities in the community in ways that we can support either groups within the community or organizations or just giving back. So the first person to talk about our impact is Nayani. Yeah, just go ahead.
Okay, so hi, I'm Nayani Bostic, and I will be speaking about our Veterans Day Assembly and breakfast. So every year, what we do is we always invite not just our veterans, but our whole school joining together as well. And as everyone comes in and goes into our auditorium, we always, our band and chorus always performs and sings as well, showing their talent. We always then, our students also prepare speeches to show our gratitude towards our veterans. And as well, when we get started, our student councils not just go up and hug and show our gratitude towards our veterans. They fold their flag they fold the American flag to present our colors. And once the veterans get started, students pay attention and watch and listen, and they ask questions and show their respect to our veterans. And we don't just end there. We go into our cafeteria, breakfast donated kindly by our Coelho PTO. And veterans go ahead and go up first, and they get their breakfast, and as well as students. And we all sit down, and our veterans talk about their stories, and we get to ask questions of what their stories are, their true deep meaning of why they chose to serve in the military. This doesn't just show civic pride, but this shows more deeper meaning of why they chose and serve in the military, and just how their story affects them as a person and what they went through. And in history, we always just learn about the war, like specific dates, and we don't learn about veterans that honor and protect our country, our state, and all the things that they do. So this is why what we do as a school that builds and brings back to the community. Thank you.
So on a side note, I met with all the students today, and Nayani actually had a funny comment. She goes, we're in social studies class. We always talk about dates and facts and like get Mr. Lamar's perspective on things. But like the Veterans Day Assembly is pretty cool because she said we get to talk to somebody that actually served in our country and got the firsthand experience. And she actually said that it was a lot better and it resonated more with her, like listening to these veterans and how they sort of put their dreams aside and said, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to serve this country. So I thought that was a really impactful thing that Niani said today. So we appreciate those things. So great job, Niani. The next piece that we want to talk about is the 9/11 memorial that was just constructed and put up in the in town. Colin's going to speak about that. Colin, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Colin Gravitt, and I'll be talking about the 9/11 memorial. So as a school, we've raised over $1,000 to support the creation of the memorial. And as we know, during 9/11, this whole country came together as a whole, including the fire departments, military, even just like normal people. They came together to support the country going through a very a major event that happened in the on 9/11. Now, us students, we made a bunch of fundraising efforts to contribute to the memorial. The memorial stands as a permanent reminder of the courage, sacrifice, and in our own city, people from around the city. This represents a time in history when we as a country came together and helped each other. Yeah,
I think you explained it well. One of the toughest things we were trying to explain is when we talk about 9/11, we talk about the event that, it was a tragic day in American history, right? These students weren't even born. So to talk about it and talk about the impact that it had on us as human beings, us as a country, in the world, it's tough for them to fathom. So, as a community, we thought this was very important to donate to because this is a reminder of all the sacrifice that not only people that were serving our country, home and abroad, but just regular citizens came together to work collectively together. And I really think it showed a demonstration on how working together can really make the community a better place instead of working against each other. So I think that was one of the big things. The next thing we want to talk about is what Cassie's going to talk about is one of our biggest fundraising drives of the year. And we really have a lot of fun with this. There's some teachers that take it into a healthy competition, but this is our food drive.
Hi, I'm Cassidy Wojcik, and I'm going to be talking about how every year the Student Council runs a food drive through St. Teresa's Food Pantry, and we always have a healthy competition between the grade levels and homerooms where we try to get everyone to donate as many canned goods as possible. A lot of the teachers, like Miss Howe, pump up the students and make sure that the event is fun, as well as many canned goods being donated as possible. Hundreds of families in Attleboro are supported by St. Teresa's Food Pantry, and over the last 3 years, our school has collected over 7,500 canned goods through this food drive. The event builds compassion and awareness for people within our community. And one of the best feelings is when the people from the food pantry come and collect the canned goods because they know just how much the donations will affect so many families in Attleboro. And yeah.
Exactly. it really is a special day around Thanksgiving. We conduct this for over a month, and the kids work hard. Like they mentioned, Mrs. Howe and some other teachers do some healthy competition to see who can raise the most canned food out of the homerooms. But really, the impact that we see is when they do come to the school with 2 or 3 pickup trucks, and they pull up right to the front door, and they're just amazed at, this is driven by students donating canned goods and non-perishable items to the food pantry. And honestly, since COVID, they've said the amount of people accessing the food pantry has been through the roof. Sometimes they can't keep up with the demand. And so they're really dependent upon us, schools like Coelho and other schools in Attleboro, to help support them. And we just feel that it's so necessary to help that food pantry because they do help the community of Attleboro. So ladies, great job, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to call up the next 3. Great job. All right. So our next 3 are Brooklyn, Olivia, and Blake. Come on up. All right, Brooklyn is going to talk about our giving tree.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn Bissett, and what I'm going to be talking about is A Christmas for Kids. It is run by Student Council, and we do it because we believe every kid deserves a joyful holiday. How it works is during the months of December and November, students, families, and teachers can come in and donate under the giving tree. It's placed outside our office, but most importantly, the reason why we do it is because, as we know, some kids aren't as fortunate as others. So being able to change their day and put a smile on their face really means a lot to us as a school.
Yeah. And just a little fun fact, last year we had over 75 families just at Coelho alone reach out to the administration and the adjustment counselors in need of gifts for the holidays. And we're more than happy to donate for those kids and those families. And it goes along with just not only gifts, but if they need Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, or just anything in general. So it's one of our big items that we love to do, and it brings a sense of joy to all of us here at Coelho. Great job, Brooklyn. All right, and next is Olivia, who is our ambassador to Project 351. She's going to talk a little bit about what Project 351 is and talk about her inspiration and why she chose to do it. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olivia Matchka, and I'm one of 3 ambassadors in the city of Attleboro. My goal is to help hundreds of thousands of people. I've already started off by helping feed the homeless on my birthday in Boston, and with the help of my ambassador friends, we went all over Boston, feeding over 7,000 people in a span of 3 hours. Also, in those 3 hours, we made scarves, cards, makeup, and skincare packages, helping and or impacting a total of 25,510 lives. A person who made all this possible is Gladys Vega. In addition, I'm hosting a clothing drive at Coelho Middle School from February 16th through April 8th. I've asked some of my National Junior Honor Society friends to help me package and organize them into bags where they'll be collected and dropped off at a station for cradles and crayons, where they'll take the clothes and distribute the clothing between all people and kids who need it. All this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Mr. McNeil presenting this idea to me. It's a true honor to be a representative of not only Coelho, but the city of Attleboro. I will continue to bring acts of service here to Attleboro in hope of bringing the community closer together. And I hope that each kid and each parent knows that they're never truly alone. I would like to take the last few moments of your time to share a story that completely changed my mindset. This story is named The Starfish Story. A young girl was walking along the beach upon thousands of starfish that had been washed up during a terrible storm. When she came to eat starfish, she would pick it up and throw it back into the ocean. People watched her with amusement. She said she had been doing this for some time when a man approached her and said, "Hey, why are you doing this? Look at this beach. You can't save all these starfish. You can't begin to make a difference." The girl seemed crushed, suddenly devastated. But after a few moments, she bent down and picked up another starfish and hurled it as far as she possibly could into the ocean. Then she looked up and the man replied, "Well, I made a difference to that one." The old man looked at the girl with an impressed facial expression and thought what she had done and said. Inspired, he joined the little girl in throwing the starfish back into the sea. Soon others joined, and all the starfish were saved. This story truly impacted me because I looked back at what happened in Boston, and all us ambassadors have the same idea of truly making a difference, starting in our home cities throughout the whole state of Massachusetts to eventually growing up and being able to help more than one state. And since we all have the same idea and the same dream in our minds, we know that if it starts with one person and we keep on doing it, more and more people will want to join. Thank you.
Excellent, great job, thank you. And the last one is another important foundation that we want to help support. Just to give you some background, and Blake's going to speak upon this, Olivia Knighton was a student of ours and still is a student in our hearts and minds. This year would be her 8th grade year. She'd be moving on to the high school. So we hold this foundation very dear to us, right, Blake?
Yep.
So every year, the Knighton family is part of our school. Her brothers, one of her brothers comes to our school next year. Another brother will come up to us. Her mom works at the school as a substitute nurse. Her father's always at the school donating time. This is a foundation that we really believe in because they have done so much for the city of Attleboro and around Attleboro. So I want Blake to talk a little bit about the Olivia Knighton Foundation and how we support this wonderful foundation. Go ahead, Blake. You got this, buddy.
As you know, my name is Blake Medeiros, and at Coelho Middle School, PE leaders at Coelho work with staff and the PTO to raise money through fundraisers like the Color Run and the student versus faculty basketball game. Over the past 2 years, we have raised more than $8,000, which we donate to the Olivia Knighton Foundation. This impacts us by always putting people in need before ourselves and always keeping Olivia in our hearts.
Excellent job, Blake. Go ahead, you can sit down. And just to give you a little perspective, the PE leaders, Rob McAvoy, Becky Hindle, put the Color Run together. If you have never been to a Coelho Color Run, you need to go. It's one of the best days ever. I think it's the only day that kids willfully will douse me with color. They'll throw a pie in my face. Like, it's a great event. And then we have the student faculty basketball game. Over the course of the last 2 years, the students have raised over $80,000 in the Color Run alone. So that's the last 2 years. They have decided to donate, this is their own choice, donating of $8,000 to the Olivia Knighton Foundation, along with other foundations along in the city of Attleboro and outside. So these are one of those things that we hold dear and true to ourselves. And I just have to say in closing, I am fully confident in our future here in Attleboro with students like this. I have no worries about our future leaders. I think at times all of us can serve as better examples to the youth, but just listening to these young adults makes me happy that we're doing the right job by the families and by the students. If anybody knows me, yes, math, reading, everything's important. But the most important thing is building good human beings. And I think us as a community are really doing that. And you can see that evident in our students today. So all of you guys, thank you very much. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowles, and congratulations to the students. Great job on all of your presentations, and thank you for all you're doing for the community and supporting all of the organizations in the community. Before you guys go, so 2 things. One, where did Olivia go? She snuck in the back. Olivia, did I hear you correctly? You're still collecting clothing donations through April 8th? How can people get those donations to you if they wanted to make any donations?
In Coelho, but I could open up more if more people are willing to bring in clothing. So I would just say, just bring clothing for all age groups and bring them to Coelho, and me and National Junior Honor Society will take care of the rest.
Excellent. So for anyone, in case that didn't broadcast at home, bring any clothing donations to Coelho. Mr. Bowles will make sure that they get to where they need to go for the National Junior Honor Society.
Absolutely.
Any questions or comments from the committee? Mr. Larson?
The six of you did a fantastic job. I mean, I can't be more proud than listening to the six of you and the what you're involved in and where you're going. I agree, Mr. Bowles. There's a lot of bright future in that group right there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Mr. Bennett?
I'll just second that, and particularly, I'm inspired by the civic-mindedness and the generosity that you kids have modeled. And I think that everyone can learn something from what was just said here. The way that you kids and the Coelho community as a whole puts such a high value on helping and on doing work to do the right thing. It always inspires me when I hear stories like that. And thank you for your parents for taking some time to come here on a Monday night when there's plenty of other things you could be doing. I appreciate that, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Any other comments? Mr. Poor?
Great presentation. I have a couple kids that go to Coelho. Very proud of all of you. I think you guys, and as Mr. Bull said, the whole city should be proud of everything you're doing. I do have one question. Do we have a date for the color run yet?
We do not have a date, so we're
Okay.
meeting, we have a PTO meeting this Thursday to finalize the date.
Okay, because that is a blast. That's
It
a
is
lot of
one of
fun.
the best events. So now that school's been extended out towards the end of June, we're
Okay.
gonna have a definitive date.
Okay.
Mr. Domenici?
Thank you. I'll echo my colleagues' sentiments. You all did great coming up here to speak. It's not always the easiest thing to do. I'm just impressed with how many different areas of the community you are reaching out to. I've done work with veterans. They love coming into the schools. They love talking to you. They love just interacting. So, that's such a cool thing. I have children that have gone through and still one student left at Coelho. I am very familiar with the color runs. I always look forward. I see Jim there all the time. We look forward to the pie being thrown in Mr. Bowles' face. So
I think a lot of people do.
that is much watch. I would encourage anybody to be involved to do that. And obviously we talk from veterans all the way down to children and everybody in between. It seems like Coelho is making those connections, and as being part of so many of the 5-year strategic plans and talking about our community engagement, this makes me very happy to see how much of it is being executed on and thought of. So it makes me proud, and thank you all very much for everything you're doing.
Thank you, Mr. Domenici. Mr. Larson?
Maybe we could have the 6 students and Mr. Bowles come up to the table, and if parents want to come up and take some pictures.
Absolutely. I will echo, before we bring you guys up, I will echo what Mr. Bowles said and has been said around the table. The lessons on humanity and kindness and service are just as important as what you're learning in math, social science. I can appreciate no one wanting to mess with Miss Howe and making sure that you get as much in for the food drive as possible, but truly giving back to your community, to the entire community, as Mr. Domenici said. We are very grateful for all that you do. Please continue to do it through high school, and thank you for representing Coelho so well tonight. So if we could have the 6 students come sit at the table. Parents, please come, feel free to come into the middle of the area here to get pictures.
Colin, good job.
Come on in. Seriously.
Don't be shy.
Big smile. Should I get out of the picture?
No, you should stay.
No, I should stay.
Hey, where are they? They need to get in a picture.
Yeah.
Get Colin.
Come on, Colin.
Which one?
Thank goodness we're doing this on Monday.
Just look straight. That's what I
No,
always do.
I just looked at every single one.
Thank you all again. Congratulations. you.
Thanks for coming.
So sweet. I should just let class go.
So as our Coelho guests head out, we'll move on to the next item on our agenda. Next is an update from our Student Advisory Council, and for that, I will turn it over to Ms. Olson and Ms. Ayesienga.
Thank you. So last Thursday, we held a night to discover, and it was great to see the Attleboro community gather and see students across all grade levels interact. We wanted to say thank you to Ms. Larson and all the volunteers who helped out with the event. Senior prom will be held next Thursday on April 2nd at Rhodes on the Patuxent in Cranston. And a reminder that the in-school SAT testing will happen on April 15th, and if anyone has any questions, please forward them to Ms. Robin Frank. The 12 Plus program is looking for plank clippings of any variety, as well as terracotta pots and glass jars. All of your generous donations will be used to support the 12 Plus program Spring Craft Table scheduled for Friday, March 27th. The Student Council is in the process of planning a school-wide spirit movement to improve community in the school. The details are yet to be finalized, but it's still in the works. The Junior Class Council is working very diligently on planning the Junior Prom, which will be held on May 29th. And the Senior Class Council will be holding a fundraiser at Wingstop in South Attleboro on April 15th and 16th, with more details to come soon.
And spring sports just started last week, so we're wishing all the best to the athletes and teams participating. And a huge congratulations to track and field athletes Dar Parham, Farida Seni, and Noah Williams for qualifying to attend New Balance Nationals, which is really fun. The wrestling club, which is soon to become a varsity sport, due to the advocacy of our students and Mr. Ritchie, held a showcase last week and were able to participate in a fun event to end their season. And in terms of CTEs, we had multiple students participate in the Skills USA districts, and we would like to offer congratulations to the students who will advance into the next round. And last week, our marketing students traveled to the Mass State DECA competition, putting their business skills to the test. I know a lot of people who went. It was a great time. And then this Friday, Attleboro's concert band and concert choir will be competing in the Massachusetts Instrumental and Choral Instructors Association, or MICA, competition at King Philip Regional High School, and we'll be playing 3 pieces for a panel of judges from across the state. And the concert choir will also be competing in front of the MICA judges on Saturday. So good luck to all of our musicians, and yeah, that's about it.
Excellent. Any questions for the Advisory Council? Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the Superintendent's report, and for that, I will turn it over to Mr. Sawyer.
Thank you, Chairman. This week, the big news in the city, as everyone is aware, is the announcement about the zoo. And as superintendent, I've been asked by various people how this conceivably affects the schools, which I think makes it a fair question. I, of course, am not qualified to have any ideas about what to do about a problem like we have with the zoo, but I am paying close attention to people's ideas about what to do about it, because I think some of them do have significant impact for our school district. It should come as no surprise to anybody who's listening to me for the last 15 years. I believe that this problem reflects a much deeper reality, which is that our city does not have the means to meet the basic expectations that our residents have for what the city can provide in terms of services. And I can say that as the superintendent of schools because I'm the one that ultimately is tasked with delivering, educational outcomes for the city with a budget that is 20% less than what pretty much any other community in the Commonwealth is paying for. And I have said all along, I do not believe that reflects that Attleboro does not value education. I think there's lots of evidence that we do. What it reflects is that the way that the state, has set up the system leaves Attleboro in an unenviable position where we do not have the financial means to meet that obligation. And I want to be clear, that has a negative impact on our children. So this reality and its impact is not new. And it's, obviously sad that it has reached a new phase that we're having these kinds of discussions. But to me, it is part of a larger reflection that we as a community are going to have to, at some point, have a discussion about whether or not we want to adjust how much we're paying or what it is we're expecting. And that's a conversation that I think is coming one way or the other, as the margins between what we can afford and what we can, what we need to do gets thinner and thinner. It's a real reality, and it's one that's headed at us. So I would just simply say that as a committee, I think you and the administration, as a means of support, need to keep a close eye on how this conversation unfolds in the city, because there are some ideas that I think ultimately might fix the zoo problem, but leave the city in actually a tougher spot to address the deeper problem, whereas some of those solutions conceivably could address the actual problem and be something that is a benefit to all the services. So that is my particular angle on what we're facing and what I think we need to keep a close eye on as it unfolds.
Yeah, I agree. It is a much larger problem that, as you said, we've been discussing in this room for years, that that we are one of a number of departments in the city that are struggling with funding and are negatively impacted by that. And while our purview is specific to school budget, we've said a number of times that there are a number of other departments that face similar staffing shortages, service shortages, that it's not just a school issue, that it's Mr. Larson has said over the years, we could close 5 or 6 departments in the city and still not be able to cover the cost of what it takes to educate children to the fullest potential. And so it's clearly an unfortunate situation. I love the zoo. My family loves the zoo. That's been a generational fixture in this community. But it is I agree. It's not that the city doesn't have faith in the zoo or believe in the zoo or want the zoo. I think it's just more indicative of similar to, we want more for the schools, but we can't afford more for the schools. Mr. Bennett?
Thank you. I've been thinking a lot about this since the news broke about the zoo. And I think it's really important to connect the problems with the zoo and with the problems that the city is having with what's going on here in the schools. And that is that when the margins and the margin for error is so small, the smallest thing blows up to where it's a huge problem, right? When you look at the zoos, the payroll for the zoos it's under $1 million. And with a city the size of Attleboro, to be at the point that we really have to consider not making that investment in the zoo, that's similar to what's going on in the schools, whereby if 32 kids go to charter school instead of come here, it adds up to a catastrophic rippling effect throughout our entire budget. And it is because the city does not have the money to do these things properly. So the schools are one deep all the way through. And that is, I think, a lot of the root of the problems that we've been having. And it's reflected by the special education parents who come here week after week with heartfelt and horrible stories of things that, in my opinion, the ultimate cause for them is the lack of money that the schools have to fund things beyond the bare minimum that's required. And that is a symptom of the same problem. And we're only going to see more of it in Attleboro unless something can be done about the revenue side of the equation. And I hate to say it, but it is coming, and it's coming for everyone. That problem with the zoo is the tip of a very, very large iceberg. And the people of Attleboro don't know what's coming. So it's our job to make sure that everybody understands that things like that hit the most vulnerable populations first. And the people who need the most services and who deserve the most services cannot get them because we are not able to provide them, and that is just a fact. Thank you for bringing this up, Mr. Sawyer. I appreciate bringing some attention to this problem from the perspective of the schools.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Any other questions or comments related to the zoo/funding concern? Thank you.
My next item is an update on the impending changes to the regulations on restraints and seclusion. I wanted to let the committee know that we are still waiting on your association, MASC's model policy. So, once that's released and our legal counsel has reviewed it, then the policy subcommittee can, take up as a matter, the changes that we're going to need to make to bring ourselves in line with that. But that hasn't happened yet because we're still waiting on that important piece, which is the necessary first step. That said, we still are planning to deliver on what has been promised, to explain to the community how that policy is going to be enacted through our procedures. And we're going to run an event, as, again, we said that we would, to explain that and elicit feedback. Now, one important distinction I should mention is that up until this point, the only procedure manual that we have related to this was part of the special ed procedure manual. But this has caused us to reflect on the fact that actually restraint is not specific to special education, and we are sometimes needing to restrain students who are not special education. So we believe that we need to create a separate standalone procedure manual for restraint so that it's not incorrectly perceived as specifically a special education issue, especially related to students who are not. So we're going to be able to present that as a standalone manual, and then whatever we end up finalizing there will be the same language that gets put back into the special ed manual. But that'll just reflect the larger manual, which again would be for all students, not just special education students. Anyways, we will present that manual. We'll talk about how it reflects the changes in the policy and receive feedback from the community on that presentation at an event that we are now planning for May 20th. And we will promote that widely and make sure that everyone knows that that's the opportunity that, again, has been promised and will be delivered upon.
Thank you, Mr. Sawyer. And I know that the policy subcommittee was scheduled to meet last Monday, but there was a conflict and it needed to be rescheduled. I believe it's for April 14th. In case legal counsel and MASC have not had a chance to generate draft policy, the next policy subcommittee meeting is in early May, correct?
I believe that's correct.
So even if it's not available in time for that April 14th, the reason I bring this up, in case it's not available for that April 14th policy meeting, I believe there would be another policy meeting where it could be reviewed May 11th. Thank you. And so we would be, that would mean we have a committee meeting likely on May 18th for us to discuss as a full committee to approve in advance of that May 20th event. Perfect.
Yeah, that's the hope. But honestly, even if something gets in the way of that plan, we would go ahead with the 20th based on what we know to be true, because to go any later than that, I think would leave us in a place where we wouldn't have enough time to be responsive to the feedback, because we've got to make the changes and then disseminate the manual and go over it with the administration as to what it says and what it means. And, that all takes a little bit of time. So, we picked the 20th in part because we were trying to give it as much time as possible so that we, get this stuff done, but can't go too late because we need a little bit of time on the back end. So felt like that was the right timing. It does give us 2 cracks at the subcommittee.
Ms. Johnson?
Thank you. And Mr. Sawyer, I just wanted to clarify, this isn't like that we didn't have a manual prior to this, or we didn't have guidelines prior to this. This has we've had this already. This is just an update of what we
So
have
we've never had a standalone manual for restraint, right?
Right.
We had it as part of the procedure manual for special education.
Okay.
So it has already existed, but the idea that this is a practice that is not specific to special education is part of, changes that we've had in the last 10 years. And so we think that this is a good moment to establish a manual that's outside of that so that it's reflective of all of our students.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. And it's not that we've never had guidelines before, they've just always been embedded in special education.
Correct.
And any, I know we've had grants for, thank you, it was right here, I couldn't grab it. We've had grants for professional development, but it's not that there hasn't been professional development, those grants have helped to offset any costs.
Yeah, I mean, we've had quite a bit of professional development already, and this is just going to help us to do an even better job.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Again, we'll be promoting that event in the coming weeks.
Thank you.
All right, back to budget. Just wanted to give you a little update on our timeline. April 6th will be both the public hearing for the budget, which will be published in the newspaper 10 days prior, in the ad that we have to do every year. And then after the hearing, we will be presenting the proposed budget from the administration to the committee for consideration on the 6th. We then need to ask for you for consideration to actually adjust the meeting schedule after that, because the mayor has let us know that if we move our meeting up to the 27th and are able to pass the budget on the 27th, then she can include the request as part of the budget message, which we all think would be a good accomplishment. So currently, the meeting is scheduled for May 4th, but that would be too late. So I would ask that we revise our meeting schedule to move the 4th to the 27th so that we can pass the budget early enough for inclusion in that, with the correct number included in her presentation.
So I will entertain a motion to adjust our meeting schedule to move our April 4th meeting.
May 4th.
I'm sorry, our Monday, May 4th meeting to Monday, April 27th.
So moved.
Second.
The question then becomes, will we have quorum? Which... does anybody have any conflicts for that date?
We have no life, Mr. Geddes.
I don't see I have any conflicts.
Okay, so we have one potential conflict, but it sounds like a majority.
I'll be out.
Okay, but it sounds like we will still have a majority of a quorum for April 27th. Any questions or concerns specific, since we're discussing under a motion, specific to the change of date for the meeting? Mr. Frappier?
This would also cancel the May 4th meeting?
Yes. Any other questions?
I already had it in the calendar as the 27th for some reason.
I did too.
So.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
And related to the public hearing on April 6th, the notice publicizing the hearing will include details on how the public can access the budget in advance of the hearing, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. All right. Any other budget questions or comments? All right, was that all you had for that?
I have one final item. Just wanted to give the committee an update on the search process for a new principal for Attleboro High School. We are in the concluding stages of that process, and getting to a point where we'll have an announcement one way or the other by the end of the week. So that's the hope. I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to deliver on that, and look forward to either being able to announce the new principal or acknowledging that we have to go back out.
Any questions related to the principal search at Attleboro High?
All right, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Superintendent Sawyer. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes from both our March 2nd and March 9th meetings. I will entertain a motion to approve both unless anyone has any objection. All right.
Second.
Thank you. Any updates, edits, or comments on the minutes from both March 2nd and March 9th? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next is a lengthy consent agenda. I will take all items as one motion unless anyone would like me to pull a specific item out for any reason. Seeing none, a motion to accept a donation of $40 from the Skills USA Can Drive to Skills USA at Attleboro High School. Motion to accept a donation from the J.S. Lim Foundation in the amount of $4,000, with $3,000 going to the Attleboro Scholarship Fund and $1,000 going to the Gifts Donation Line at Attleboro High School. Motion to accept a donation in the amount of $59.92 from Bliss Restaurant for the Leo Club fundraiser at the Attleboro High School, to the Attleboro High School Leo Club. A motion to accept a donation of 60 gallons of Dell's Lemonade with 700 cups with an approximate value of $1,800 to the high school for a fundraising event. Motion to approve a day field trip proposal for on April 13th, 2026 for Attleboro High School grades 11 and 12 students to travel to the University of Massachusetts to attend a research conference. Motion to accept a donation in the amount of $787.50 from Bristol Community College Lucille and Bill Hicks Opportunity Fund to cover the transportation cost for Attleboro High School students to attend the UMass Research Conference on April 13th, 2026. Motion to accept a donation in the amount of $501.75 from New England Institute of Technology to cover transportation costs of the Attleboro High School February 10th, 2026 field trip to New England Tech. Motion to accept an anonymous donation in the amount of $10,300 to be used at the discretion of the superintendent. Motion to accept a contractual obligation in the amount of $66.50 from Planet Aid as broken down in the check receipt dated March 16th, 2026. Motion to approve the overnight field trip proposal on April 30th through May 2nd, 2026 for 17 Attleboro High School students to attend Skills USA State Competition at the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel in Marlborough, Massachusetts. And a motion to send to the Municipal Council for approval a prior year invoice in the amount of $947.96 to be paid from school department funds.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Mr. Bennett.
Mr. Sawyer, what are you going to do with your $10,300?
Going to find a good use of it.
All right.
I wasn't going to put it that way. I was just going to say thank you to whoever the anonymous donor was. It's a big contribution.
That's much more gracious. Thank you, Mr. Dominici.
Generally, donations of that size go to lunch balances, supplies, things along those lines. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is open forum. This is a time when members of the public may address the school committee to provide updates, share information, or express concern on matters within the committee's jurisdiction. All speakers are encouraged to present their comments in a respectful manner. Open forum is not a time for committee members to engage in dialogue with members of the public. Guidelines for open forum are available to you. Please know that we are interested in what you have to say, but we cannot respond without background information. Each open forum participant will be given 3 minutes to address the committee. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Jason Alfred, Attleboro, Mass. So, just want to let everybody know that I'll be reaching out to legal counsel regarding comments made March 2nd, or tonight, specifically about one of our educators. I'm going to ask you guys, does that sound like people were in fear, like Mr. Geddes had portrayed about the comments made on March 2nd? Because he's only talking about one of the educators. Now, the next email I have is, from Mr. Frank Rich, in which he said, I want to reach out directly following tonight's school committee meeting where comments were made about Carrie Fernandez that were untrue, unfair, and hurtful. If Mr. Rich was here, I would say, sir, know your role, shut your hole. You were not there. I have documents that prove Miss Carrie Fernandez is everything I've said. I mean, the woman, started this whole train wreck. The woman reached out behind our backs and got a 2-hour primary care physician and redid a ADHD assessment. These are all things I have. The woman is a kindergarten teacher. She told my ex-wife, my son's mother, that he needs to have, outpatient mental health treatment. Again, that's a kindergarten teacher. She knows a lot, right? So things I say were true, and all due respect, Mr. Rich, just shut your mouth. Next thing on here is, this really bothers me because I started coming here March 20th, and once I started coming up here, people said, Jim Poor, reach out to Jim Poor. So when a member reaches out to you guys and asks Mr. Poor about the email and whether or not he was notified and all that stuff, whether there was some conference about whether somebody felt threatened, and his response is, I wasn't sure how to answer it. But I wasn't sure how to answer it as to not mess anything up. I will answer, just please let me know how to respond. That's an email to Mr. Geddes. I mean, you guys are in charge of watching our children, taking care of our children. This is the stuff I have to find. This is the stuff that comes across my desk. I mean, not to mention this Miss Scales, Lori Scales, a former school committee member. She's the one that actually escalated it. I mean, I'm reading emails, during several school committee hold on. It's apparent to me and others that Mr. Alfred is escalating. He is clearly more agitated and showing the signs of becoming threatening. Oh, wow. Really? Miss Scales? I mean, come on. This is what we're doing, is we're basing it off all that stuff. Now, my whole main point of this is, I watch how quickly you guys jump to a teacher. Oh, let's make Miss Fernandez feel good. Is there any emails afterwards to say, hey, we need to get a hold of these kids. We need to get a hold of this parent to say, hey, what's going on with your kid? You guys are so quick to jump to other adults, in your echo chamber, because you're not used to dealing with parents. You can't handle what parents say. You take it offensive. We're all on the same team, I thought. But because I raise my voice, you guys can't handle that. You take offense to it. You don't like my shirt? Tell me. I don't care. Make sure my kid is taken care of. Make sure the rest of the kids are taken care of. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that's 3 minutes.
Thank you. Truth is not harassment. Truth is protection.
Highlighter went under the podium.
Oh, thank you. I'll get that after.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the committee as part of open forum?
Hi. No script tonight. Joey Ford, 44 Smith Street, founder and leader of Parent Data Force. I've come here to almost every single meeting for over a year now. I've been gaslit. I've been lied to. I've tried everything and have achieved essentially nothing aside from my own child. I brought you data, I brought you witnesses, I brought you testimony, I brought you ideas, I brought you examples from other districts. Nothing is ever good enough to change anything. I get the runaround. I talk about chickens, you respond with eggs. I should explain and demonstrate how the structure leaves CPAC completely powerless. They go and they make efforts. God bless Janine, she is wonderful. And Ms. Porto, I understand you're limited by the structure that exists, which is why I've been trying to fix this. But the only connection they have to this committee is through the liaison, which is a 30-second update occasionally. There's no deliberation. I pointed this out multiple times. You know that it's structurally useless, Rob. You know it is. The things you've done to Mr. Alfred, that's what's just totally set me off the Richter. So from now on, I'm not bringing you concerns to try to fix them. I have no faith that you're going to do anything about it. So I started my website, parentdataforce.com, and every public record request I've ever sent, every email we've ever had with one another, every document you've ever sent, every concern that's been brought forth to me with evidence, everything's going to be on there. And I bought that domain for 10 years and the web hosting, so it's going to live there. So this is what you created. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Is there anyone that, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Raposa. I live at 15 Richard Street. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I am the parent of 3 children in the Attleboro Public School District. Each of them has different educational and behavioral needs, and one of my children has an IEP and several diagnoses, including autism. For the past 12 years, I have been actively advocating for my child and all of my children, and for other students who need additional support within the district. Over the past several weeks, I have attended meetings, followed discussions about special education and inclusion in our schools. What I have witnessed at times has been deeply concerning. I understand that families are passionate about their children, because I am too, but going to a school committee meeting and yelling, using inappropriate language, and speaking on topics without a clear understanding of the systems in place and involved does not help our children. In fact, it can do real harm to the progress we're trying to make. Advocacy for students with disabilities requires persistence, collaboration, and informed discussion. When conversations become hostile or based on misinformation, it undermines the credibility of the very families who are trying to fight for meaningful change. I also want to acknowledge something important. Our school system, like any system, is not perfect. There are several challenges, real gaps, and real frustrations that families experience every day. I have experienced them myself, and so have my children. But imperfection is not a reason to tear the system down. It's a reason to come together and work intentionally to improve it. Progress does not come from division. It comes from people sitting at the table, identifying problems honestly, and committing to solutions together. If we want truly sustainable, positive change for our children, especially those in special education and inclusion programs, we must approach this work as partners. Change happens through respectful dialogue, through understanding policy and process, and through working together with our educators and administrators. There are so many ways parents can make a meaningful impact. Join your school's PTO, volunteer in your child's school community, attend meetings and ask informed questions. Support the teachers and staff who are working every day with our children. Show up not only when we're upset, but when we can contribute positively to the conversation. Our children deserve thoughtful advocacy, not performative outrage. They deserve solutions grounded in facts, collaboration, and respect. I care deeply about the future of this district because my children and many others like them depend on it. If we want real progress, we must commit to working together in ways that build trust rather than tear it down. Thank you.
Ms. Raposa. Is there anyone else in the room that would like to participate in open forum? Is there anyone virtually?
No.
All right, in that case, I will close open forum. Reminders of upcoming dates. Next Wednesday, April 1st, our Finance and Budget Subcommittee will be meeting. That is here in the Zito Conference Room, correct?
Correct. 6:30.
At 6:30 p.m. Reminder that Friday, April 3rd, there will be no school district-wide for the Good Friday holiday. The school committee will next meet on Monday, April 6th. We will begin with the public hearing on the fiscal year 2027 budget at 6:15 here in the Zito Conference Room. The regular school committee meeting will commence following the public hearing on the budget. Just as a slightly advanced heads up, April 7th, Tuesday, is the next ACEPAC meeting, and that is happening here in the Zito Conference Room. Any other updates from the committee? All right, so seeing none, the next item on our agenda is executive session. The Attleboro School Committee will convene an executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30, Section 21A, Section 21A2 and 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting might have a detrimental effect. Collective bargaining may also be conducted. The committee will not return to open session following the executive session. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. As a matter of logistics, the committee will go into the superintendent's conference room for executive session. We'll do a roll call vote. I'll start with Mr. Bennett.
Yes.
Ms. Porto. Mr. Larson.
Yes.
Mr. Geddes, yes. Mr. Domenici.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Frappier.
Yes.
Mr. Poor.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes. We will now go into executive session, and the open session is concluded. Have a great night.